However, that is sort of that other side of the coin where it's like, well, they're proven now on their biggest test. Koi could be in danger if this turns into a longer series.
Could definitely turn into that danger. Of course, these two have met before as well. That was a quick 2-0 game in favor of Koi. So another bit of a revenge match coming through. First ban, Buck. That's going to, of course, limit the verticality a little bit that they can bring on the attack. Dokubi, of course, after the buff is not out of the ordinary to see banned every now and then as well. Dead people can no longer watch the cameras, and if your intel game is strong, and I don't think we need to be mentioning Koi and their intel game with the Biggie T on the Echo.
I see dead people. Dead people don't see me.
Very true.
No.
Yeah.
It's Dokubi. She keeps you safe from ghosts. Which is cool, because you got the really spooky Dokubi skins in the game.
Being a ghost.
Yeah, there is.
Protecting you from ghosts.
Yeah. The ghost to be Valkyrie is the final removal here. We start on Club, and Club has seen a lot of play throughout this tournament. It always does. It's Club. Often as a second or third map, though, there's, you know, some teams that love to bring fights to Club. W7M is one of them.
Yep.
And that's always going to be that sort of risk in that moment here. You had other potential options, but for all that you talk about, this is a good Club team, this is a bad Club team, you have to be sure of your Club if you go up against W7M with it.
Yeah, Club over the 6 Invitational so far has been played a total of 22 times. This is the 23rd, we'll see it. A total of 251 rounds were played. It is generally a defense-sided map. So, W7M, they are looking to find 3 to 4 rounds out of this first half to continue with the current statistics. But it wouldn't be too out of the ordinary as well to just see Koi take 4 attacking wins right now and see W7M do the exact same thing on the turnabout.
This is the thing about how these two teams might formulate. Who is going to have more in the sort of tank at the beginning of the series? Sometimes they've been a bit slow to warm into it. We've seen big comebacks on the side of Koi. We've seen W7M, sort of as I said before, the series goes longer and longer and longer, but by the end, that's when the machine is fully rolling. Koi need to make sure they get off to a bit of a good start here, and with a full roam, pretty much the extension over most of the map. The Solus is going to be on the hunt. They've got themselves the rotations. What option is Koi going to have as their first steps?
Well, they do have the Thatcher available, which should making these walls open up a lot easier for them. Spoid entering quickly as well. Herds has been spotted. Might make him into the very first target as they try and hunt down. Going for a bit of a check as someone was watching him as a potential gets made, but no shots coming through. Instead, from the window, Phillips is out there to protect him just slightly, offer an alternative angle. But Spoid, he's not biting, he's just waiting, because he's hoping that they'll fall back through the actual staircase.
Yeah, this is the sort of trap, and Hertz isn't going to fall for it because you know to expect it. It's the idea of forcing a player to make a movement past somebody who's watching, and look at that Kanto pre-firing towards Jim. Hertz trying to jump out and fire right back. Just gets the end. No! Kanto tucked tail, turned around, got the kill, Crying 6 some damage. It was a huge risk there from Hertz, and you can see the W7M's utilizing that to go, let's get back to site.
They have to get back to site, yes. They cannot afford to, you know, play that numbers game even more now. Because they already won down. Now they're coming up against 5 players of Koi up towards that first floor. If many more will fall, then it just becomes such an easy attack, such an easy execute. So wasting as much time as you can has been completed. Now you just wait until they start hitting the site directly. And a 4v5 in that case would be easier to win than a 3v5, logically speaking. So that's why they fall back.
Now, as the focus can be played towards the hatches, towards the push on the back end, with all the electrics on the board and Thatcher as well, it shouldn't be the worst juggle in the world, and it's just a matter of getting them open. There's obviously impact tricks to be played against the Habana. It's a process that takes a bit of time, and time is steadily ticking here for Koi. They sure have, you know, 50 seconds still left on the board, but look at what they're doing now. Look at the process that was wasted from the early game there, from W7M's roam, from the jump out, from the pressure they put themselves down. They're trying to still hold and formulate, and as I said, the impact tricks, this juggle, it's a good 20 seconds even on a good day. And at this point, Koi, oh, they've just got to do that, maybe get a take from the verticality. KZ gets one right back onto Deepak. The pressure of Spoyd on the back end of blue. Leon's got the kit above Moto, wants to take the drop themselves. There's another grenade and a triple for Kanto throughout this series so far on the opening round. Can he get any more? Spoyd gets Julio on the back end, and there's JV92 to pop his way back through, gets a double. Leon should get the plant. It's the single cover of Kanto. He gets caught as well, and JV92, he can make the distance!
JV92 coming in clutch right there in that very first round. That's going to be firing him up. That's going to be a very, very scary team to play against right now. That's just what W7M need. Just that little bit of energy early on, and now we're off flying.
I think maybe I need a little bit more. If this is how the whole game, like we knew the game would maybe go at moments like this, but the first round,
instantly,
the first round, a 20-second push and a quad kill on the back end to clutch it.
And the knife as well. I mean, both ran out of ammo there.
I mean,
it's like, what could Leon do there? I mean, just got that plan down. It was a surprise he was still alive, and just pure panic probably coming through. CCTV is going to be up next after we've had a round that should have been Koi's, but was taken by JV92. He said, not today. This is my round. This is my time to shine.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can't argue with that.
No arguing about it. And that brings us to CC, which is, of course, the site, the staple of Siege, where, you know, that one-by-one attack often comes and takes shape, and in terms of the step-by-step plan, it's so easy to follow. And there's not much they can do against it now. Opening will be made into the garage. It's one of those first two steps. It's going to be making sure that people near the rafters are not going to be feeling themselves as safe as they could be. JV92 is going to be stuck on the staircase, rotating back up with the Deagle, hoping to take a quick fight.
I mean, a lot of confidence off the first round to then try and swing towards the back. He can waste so much time here. KZ's there to have the extension the Warmai offers. It's a growth throughout the round. You've got Azami. It's sort of, the stocks are increasing exponentially when you have that pairing together. Regardless of where they're at, you just get more powerful the longer they're alive. That might be a problem Koi read into, is we either have to try and push them sooner rather than later, or by the end of it, it's going to be full of Keeper barricades and Warmai discs, and we're not going to be able to remove anything other than just our own utility. The break is coming underneath, the control here, the attempt onto the bandit charges. This will be the first explosion, should get the wall, and there it is, step for step.
Within a minute and 10 seconds, they've opened up all they need to do, and now it is just that matter of taking control of what you want to have. Either Koi's going to be going around to construction and push from there, or they're going to try and clear out this mezzanine that two of these players of W7M are currently playing on. Drones are coming through, are providing information. Herds on the billiards table is going to be trying to provide some sort of spanner, but he gets spotted out and basically gets bullied away from that window.
Deepak, I believe, just took some damage, rotating and running past the open door, still being watched. Not enough to get the kill, but again, they're still weighing up. But as I said, there's such a sturdy problem. You hear it becoming a bigger problem with the Keeper barricades being placed. It just becomes more and more you got to try and remove. They have themselves held off on the side. Spoit's trying to find the route through. He's maybe under some pressure from Bar. In the meantime, they're still just drifting by. There's the pressure over the top. Leon's able to find one, and it's a trade out on the back end, but with Volbs now inside the site, watching over the top rungs. There's another smoke canister to pop any of the motion coming from the breach itself, but 40 seconds, 3 versus 3. They've got control of Garage. They've got control of the rafters. Now they need to try and get the rotation onto the split and get the kit down.
Oh, Kanto stuck on a reload there, tried to hide himself, but he gets taken down after a swift peek to come through. Spoit now in the same position. Gets a couple of rounds sent his way. He lives. He pushes on. 20 seconds now. It's only up to Deepak. Volbs with a great round so far. Takes down the last as well. And that's a double 4K coming through. First JV92, now Volbs.
All 10 players, O1's capable of having around with their name sort of etched on it. It's,
Let's just wake up a bit, boys. So, like,
I guess, a fear, but
we're a bit shaky right now. We're a bit nervous. Like, start listening to the calls.
yeah, agreed, Leon. You can sort of see it from the motions.
Listen to what I'm calling. Listen to what I'm saying. Like, for example, I'm saying garage catwalk is completely clear. I cleared that out. And we're still focusing and flashing it and then stuff like that, okay? Yeah. Let's get these next 4 attacks, boys, okay? We're doing...
All right. 4 attacks, and you know, he's pointing it out obviously in the game, and we get to be the viewers from above that can sort of say, yeah, there's a lot of caution aid that Koi doesn't often do. I'm not going to say it's always the argument, fear or respect, but it's knowledge. It's knowledge that you know what can be done against you, so they want to make sure that when they go for it, it's clear, and a second guess just gives 2 opportunities for something to go wrong.
Yeah, that's hesitation kills. That's the saying as well, right? Like, if you go for it, you just need to go for it. Like, if you stand there in the doorway, just waiting a bit too long, eventually you're gonna buy just enough time for your opponent to make that decision for you. So, as we head towards the next top floor, which is bedroom and gym, we'll be seeing an extension, of course, towards the east, which is all going to be quite basics. Nothing really too out of the ordinary here. The question is Koi going to be dealing with it? Because often what we do see is the CCTV wall to be opened up, so at least there's going to be the pressure for players out there. And as it looks like they're going to try and open up Jacuzzi, there's an active bandit trick there in the name of Hertz, who has keeper barriers to protect his bandit wires, to protect him from sitting here. And also locked off the drone hole, which means they cannot get an explosive through right away.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward there. See if they can try and get that removed via this without suffering anything on the back end of it. You don't just want to get sprayed onto, and there's always the risk of that, but there's this. One more hit, one more knife, ready to go. There it is.
Try to get through that.
Still another Kiba in pocket. So even if they punch this one out, they're going to have to do it again, and if you just look at the clock, already 1 minute and 20 seconds that have been wasted. There's nothing Leon can really do. A grenade from below, though, is going to be coming in from Spoil. He's still afraid that he might be checked. That will land. It's going to be taking care of the bandit wires. The second one is supposed to take care of Hertz. Oh, but it goes far. How did that not kill him?
I have no idea how that didn't actually kill that man right there. It was red and exploded. You'll need a slow-mo to try and piece that one together, but it's a blow here on the side of Koi. That should have in the world been the take on the first and the break of the breach. You've just got to rebuild behind it. W7M, they've been given a windfall and they're more than happy to sort of go, all right, let's keep moving on that. That wall will stay locked. Another keeper barricade, but at this point, you know, with 2 grenades left from Kanto, with 1 exothermic, you still got to try and run the numbers here on if you need to focus on other things first, because again, the most precious resource that seems to be messing them up so far is time, taking a bit too long to have the confidence to swing into the engagements. W7M still have the extension to CC, still have themselves in pit, and there's 30 seconds left.
This should be a W7M round right here, because what does Koi really have? Windows to jump in from, potentially a hatch. That's going to be about it right here as Deepak misses the opportunity to take down the rotation that is headed back towards the side. He will be punished for it. Kanto taking lots of damage as well from every single corner you can imagine. And it is JV92 with another triple kill, chasing down another quad kill.
Yeah, Leon versus the world right now, but the world wins out. 3 rounds in a row here for W7M. And a timeout requested by Koi. Let's have a listen in.
Alright boys, listen up. There are 2 sites they can go to. They can go to fucking bar, or they can go to basement. I assume they'll go to basement again. So keep this up. Listen hard. Listen closely, alright? When our flanks on basement are a little bit weak, so make sure we're taking a nomad or a climb over that fucking garage ladder, okay?
Yep.
Other than that, our basement push is really fucking good. But right now, you will need to take a deep breath and start relaxing. Comments are going over people's heads.
Yep.
No one is listening properly, okay? Start saying heard and slow the fuck down, okay? Sure. We're slow in the rounds, but when we're actually coordinating to remove the bandit from the wall, or when we want to open a hatch with a cave, slow down, enunciate, and take your time to explain exactly what you want, in what order you need it, and then you will get things open and done. Let's go, boys!
Let's go, boys.
Let's go, boys.
Give me ace possible for this one.
We're so much fucking better than these boys, guys, okay?
Yep.
9-2, vai de arame e repõe os arames lá do bombeiro e do corredor, fechou? É isso, bom. Joguinho tá da hora.
Okay,
guys.
wow.
Yeah.
We find ourselves rolling in here, and it's tough. I think that's the thing is, you know, the push here wasn't too shaky last time. They got the kit down. They just, on the back of trying to survive a 0-4
Yeah.
clutch is, you can't really write that stuff in, and you can't really write that as the sort of, what was wrong, well, this happened.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like a tornado coming through. As you can prepare as best as you can.
it's a natural
But
disaster.
sometimes the tornado will just decide to destroy everything.
The tornado's called JV92 for those of you that are just joining in. Same for Philps. Oh!
5 seconds to go.
That's unfortunate. JV92 dropped.
Attackers objective is
And so does the rest of
locate a bomb
W7M.
and defuse it.
Well, we'll, I assume, be having a rehearsal.
We're having a rehearsal
on
as
that
well.
round. We're back in sooner rather than later. We actually haven't had one.
No, I haven't had that happen.
So
Bem que
that's
eu vi ele na esteira.
a quick tech timeout, a quick continued pause as we get things back up. Luckily, we're not too deep into the game or the series, so it's not too complicated to get everything back up and running, whatever the issue is. Hopefully it's fixed or sorted, but yeah, I guess we can just continue the discussion of sometimes that's the trickiest thing to say, how do we repeat this? How do we do this better? And it's like, well, technically we didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I mean, they didn't do anything wrong. They just got styled on.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way I can really put it down. Because, you know, it was a 1v4, it was a post plan that was about to be set up, and guy just runs in and kills you all. I mean, crossfires were there. There was multiple guns aimed in his direction. None of them were able to find a kill, whereas JV92 was able to find them all, and well, that's basically all you need to know. So what do you do different? Maybe just hit the shots next time. I think that's literally it. Just make sure you get that last kill to go your way, and you're going to be good.
Stuff happens, and you also have this break in the momentum. I don't think W7M would. They want to get back into this as well. They're having a whale of a time. That's the sort of read through here as well. Is, you know, they've come into this series swinging. They've come into this with the knowledge that this could have been a match now. This could have been a match in another rung. This could have been a match in the grand final. Potentially, it might still be, regardless of what happens today. This is two of the strongest teams at the tournament that will be both guaranteed places at Plus Bell. Plus Bell.
Plus bell. I know a lot of the Americans call it place bell, but I believe it was plus bell.
Place Bell.
Place bell. Referees and tech crew coming over to see what exactly the problem is before we can get back into it. Simple mouse clicks, that could be the solution.
I mean,
Who knows?
I wish.
I wish.
We've all run tech support for our families.
We have.
I think
Sometimes
everybody.
it is as simple as just.
Sometimes it is as simple as just click the mouse
Yeah.
or
Start turning it on and off again.
turn something on and off again.
Might be what they're doing now, you don't know. So,
Bateu em mim, estourou, eu não tomei de dano.
So yeah.
yeah.
Tu viu?
We could just wait and talk about those first 3 rounds. Round 1, of course, was Arsenal. It's the same site we'll be headed to as soon as we are getting back into the game. That was a pretty good push to come now from Koi. That should have been their round. But again, mentioning it, JV92 from the back of the AK is able to find 4 kills and the knife to end it off with. Onto Leon, who just put down that diffuser. Now we have the CCTV round where, you know, they did take care of the step-by-step plan, as in they opened up the balcony, they've opened up garage, they've taken control of mezzanines by clearing out the players there, and Volps just has a massive round from there on. It just shuts them down as they walk up the garage staircase, and there's no one there that could stop him. So that's like a second kind of hero play to come through. And then the third round we just had, I mean, I'm not going to say purely relied on Jacuzzi being shot, but if you looked at the amount of utility going through there and that grenade not killing the bandit, making sure that that wall stays closed is definitely going to be having an impact here.
Yeah. Oh
on the
yeah.
successes of that round.
That I think that's something that might get looked at. Yeah. I'm curious what happened. I'm sure people with a lot more going on are even more curious.
Is there pipes in that room? Maybe it landed right behind the pipes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think without a look, it's tricky to explain. But remember, the players will not always have that look as well. The only person there is the person who survived the explosion. Maybe they're immortal.
Maybe that's the secret.
We'll never know.
Who knows?
Either way, you're sort of using this moment to build focus.
Yeah.
You are left to sit. Obviously, during this time, you can't communicate with the coach.
No.
Players can talk if they like.
Yeah, they can have a little chat.
They don't want to.
Sometimes they don't. You just want to stay in a focus, right? And having like a little chit chat might be getting you out of that.
9-2 passou a peixeira no meu.
Some tests going through. Seems like it's good. The thumbs up have been given.
The international sign of, all right,
We can roll.
we are good. And as they get them all back into the lobby, and we make sure that everything is peachy keen. There's some fist bumps. And here
It's a second sign of
we
go.
go.
Possibly. Who knows? Round 4. Do we get it? Do we have it? You're running out of breath like this. Please, take a breathe. There we go. We're in.
All right.
And we're headed back towards Church and Arsenal, of course, because if you are not familiar with the rules, you cannot change any of the operators that you handpicked. No, you cannot change the site that you are going to. What you do have the ability to change is your general setup. You can go for a completely different hole if you want to. Nothing stops you from doing so. But that means that we will be seeing these operators maybe so right before the Rios. For this round number 4, W7M, they just had the tactical timer called against them by Koi, who thought it was a good moment to take out the momentum, you know, take the wind out their sails. And then that led into a technical break as well.
5 seconds left before insertion.
So a bit more time to take the wind out their sails.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Here we go, Koi. Now, you had the team talk just before. If you missed it, the idea was, look, there's not too many specifics that are going wrong. You're just playing cautious. You're just a little bit too in your own heads. You've got to take the breath. You've got to relax. Remember who you are. Remember that you're better than them. And then remember that you can drive back into this game. That's all you can really say at this point. It's very early doors. Very early game. It's club. It's a good W7M map. It's always the risk bringing them here. It's the start of a best-of-3 series. See if they can get the even half spoit. Already angling himself up, watching towards it. One of the conversations was concern about watching the flank. You've got Deepak bringing those claymores, those watches on the back end, and Volps ready with a shotgun for the potential breach, and Herds ready to escape via that breach, I think.
There comes a grenade. That's an entry kill. Keys takes him down. It's going to be Spoid off the board. The grenade dropped on the ground. It's not going to be dealing too much damage from there, but losing Spoid that way is always going to be a bit painful. A second. Hatch gets open up. The drop comes through. The diffuser is now down and out. Ryan needs to go for the recovery there, but he might be a bit afraid of someone still being around.
I mean, what a blow. The swing onto the first grenade play. They were so ready to have that sort of rug pull moment and get them all back. It was just the first step, and Spoit had an idea, but unfortunately they had the manpower, and it was a very, very good clean take there from W7M, removing Leon as well, the limitations of the hard breach, limitations of the approach, and okay, there's no electrification this time round, but you're still now trying to find your way past the sort of keeper barricades, past the potential of the Wamai discs, or the bubbles at the back end with the grenades that you're limited to. Can they make the connection? Crying. He's eyeing up the approach. The kit's been recollected, and that's the disc. I talked about the problems as well. There's a real limitation on what's left in the pockets of Koi.
Yeah, for sure, there's not a lot of utility to grenades, to claymores. Those claymores are not going to be doing too much here because W7M surely is going to be just turtling this out now. They have the advantage. Crying is about to be sneaking through, has himself an opportunity to look through, but it's going to be exposing him to many angles right now as Volps finds Deepak. It's just Kanto and Crying now coming in from blue. In a 2v4, smoke canisters will be tossed out to block out one of these lines aside. A pre-fire comes through from Kanto and he will find Volps, but it's still going to be massive amount of chaos out here for Koi. Koi as Krine is forced to fall back, being the last man standing. Might actually use this time as a bit of a discussion opportunity, or he's leaning back in from an alternate angle right here, hoping he can isolate them into 3 separate 1v1s.
Well, he doesn't have much time to do it. There's the ping on the procs. They know where he is. They're just barricading things off. They've got the wider swing. They've forced a tunnel and shoot right down it. 4 rounds in a row of 4-0. W7M have opened their defense here on Koi's map.
It's not a great start for Koi, not coming back out of your tactical timeout like that, because now you don't have any available anymore. And drones being an issue there. I mean, the kill on Sport I can understand, right? You try and get the grenade in, you get swung on, you get killed.
Let's wake up, let's start calling, talking to each other and planning these executes, planning what we want to do and showing our
Is you wondering why I'm quiet? It's just because the bleed through that we had from Leon. Yeah. To say, wake the bleep up and start calling. Because I was going to say, he died. It's the fact that that drone was not droned, that room was not droned out properly. He just ran in with an Excalibur in his hand. Like, he was bound to get shot there. There was no way he was coming back out of that one alive. And that is just because either misinformation coming through or just no information in that room coming through.
There's sort of... There's a lack of motion in regards to what W7M is doing. The positions, the changes, W7M, they're adapting things, you know, they're sort of bringing the evaluation. There would have been all the prep in the world on this team. But we've sometimes highlighted the idea of bringing a big team to a map like this and bringing a big team to a map that they're happy on. It's not gonna be just as easy as knowing what they're gonna do. It's also trying to stop them doing it. A lot of teams try, most of them fall.
Rotations are still being created for this first 30 seconds of the action phase. Of course, W7M is not really under any pressure yet. We're finding ourselves in bar and stage, and that means that verticality is important. Horizontally is as well, and Spoyd is debating whether or not he's going to be able to make a difference like this. So he's headed right after a drone, making sure that everything is being checked. Leon is doing the exact same thing coming in from the actual kitchen. Proximity alarm is going to give away that at least someone is out there, and Volps is going to be trying to see if he can provide a bit of a hurdle for Koi.
Spoit as well on the split angle. They've got themselves some pressure and a push. They've dug really deep in here, but what do you do? Difmark does that, gets the first against JV92. Hurts, he's keeping himself locked in inside. That grenade definitely connects. Kanto clears out Hurts and gets the second for the round. KZ bit wider onto the back with Kanto getting one more for his trouble. Volps finally swings around and finds the first and pushes up to the top to look towards Difmark on the back end, but he's able to win out that long engagement. The distant spray from KZ puts an end to Kanto, but gives the call where he is. He hops round right into a gunfight that doesn't quite get the full lock in. There's the end of it, crying. Finally, they find their first round. Couldn't put it better, crying. Way better.
Sharp from Koi here. They were able to find themselves these engagements and bring them to go their way. Was it a synchronized push? Not at all, really, because the kills all happen like at different parts of the map.
They were in different parts.
Right? It's like multiple people doing their own thing, being successful with it. That grenade, beautiful, by the way, from Kanto. And then instantly aware of the fact that someone could be coming from CCTV. He then found the later kill as well. Got shut down by the one you just saw on your screen. But overall, Koi able to win out those individual gunfights and just fights all over the map, helped them out to get that round.
4-2, not the way you would have wanted it, Koi, but it's still possible and buys you 2 rounds of breath, potentially 2 off-sites, and you can see if you can try and drive some of this map back on your defense, which W7M will have to try and break and bash their way. You need, I would say this round, you need to have that little bit extra windfall. This map, this site specifically, got quite aggressive. There was suddenly a lot of trades going on. It was where Leon highlighted, we need to pay attention to the calls, we need to get our heads screwed back on. Can they try and adapt themselves to what was, you know, sure, it was a bit of smash and grab. Which I've really enjoyed saying this tournament. I think I need to
smash and grab.
Yeah, fun phrase. But they were also rebuffed a little. There was the hesitation in the movement behind Leon saying, I've got the bodies on rafters.
Yeah, we need to be seeing a bit more of that just decisiveness from Rogue. that confidence we've seen from them before. Again, the same openings will be made. Impact's to be tossed through the drone. It's not going to be catching anything. KZ will be falling back again and find himself up onto the rafters. Just going to be holding out for there for now. ZMP is coming through just to make sure there's no active trick or no mute jammer there to stop the exothermic from going off. And that is going to be step 2 taken care of as well. All they need to do now is clear out those players on the mezzanines. It is going to be easier said than done, especially with still a player down below. It's currently being droned out. Sport fully aware of the fact that he might be swung on soon, but he doesn't want to go hunting because he doesn't need to go hunting.
I think it's also being watched and rotated around. There's the take, crying. They were right on time, right in the right place, and they're able to take care of herds. It was an important factor, the rotation game, the limitation that was being done before. It seems like Koi are much more aware of it, and they've been able to capitalize on that opening body once again. But with a minute 20, the main breach open, Garage still not really in their control. It's the rotation and the focus down towards it as well. Volps hiding around Logi, waiting for maybe a drop on the back end, but there's KZ getting 1 and 2. And he makes it look so easy.
And are you doing everything right if you're Koi? And then something like that just happens. Kanto going quite low now as well, but KZ, after he just took out one, the flashbang is going to be coming through. Spoit will shut him down, will punish him for his positioning out there. Now a minute is going to be left on the clock, and we're finding ourselves in a 2-on-3 situation with a single member being very low on Koi. Where are they going to be trying to make this plan happen from? Are they going to try and, you know, control it from Garage, or are they just going to go for a sprint through?
Tulo still has the C4. He's been in the clutch situations before. He's made sure that he can make his mark matter. There's a rotation from the Maestro underneath too, and remember, they've got impacts. They've also got the secondary potentially to try and pop open the eyes and angles on someone going for the plant with only 20 seconds. There's not going to be too much room for improvement if things go wrong, so they've got to make the mark happen fast. Volps revealed as underneath. The first impact will connect. It opens itself towards the angle and the rotate. There's the breakthrough. They're holding directly underneath, and there's the first fed into the Alder. They're hunting the second, but they keep on pushing, cannot win it out. Round the back end, Kanto cannot find it. And W7M just get themselves over the line there for the 5-1 half.
The verticality there made it so they had to go for the run through. They needed to find the side under full control. And just a single kill was needed, but as they found it, the rotation already there. 1-5. Swapping the sides. Koi now headed over towards the defense themselves. They're starting it off on Arsenal, where they haven't found success, but should have found success themselves as they were attacking.
For you outside?
Nope.
You listen.
You don't need to, you don't.
It's just little talk.
And just
Little in-round talk, but they've got inroads to make here. We have Kanto playing a pretty solid game so far. We're missing some of the other guns of the team popping off, but it is not that they're not there, and that's the main thing. It could have very easily been a 3 versus 3, or a 3-half there throughout there, depending on that most recent round where it was another 2 versus X clutch, as we saw the 1 versus X clutch in the very open round. Koi aren't a million miles away, but the scoreboard doesn't care about that. The scoreboard only cares about who wins the round. Okay, here's the grand scheme of things. It's a 5-1. W7M, regardless of how they've got there, they're there now, and they're so close to pushing this first map over the edge.
See, that's the fun thing, right? The scoreboard doesn't care about kills.
No.
It's mostly the people playing and, you know, watching that care about it. But eventually, it is going to be that scoreline that will dictate who the winner will be. W7M, all they need to do is just, you know, get an attack in time.
Look at this.
On point. He's ready for it.
He is so ready for it.
Oh, and it's clear. There's no one there. There's no one there.
You have Deepak on the back end. The diffuser's made its way up. The Flores drone's opening up the soft. It's going to let them through, and it's Deepak versus the world. There is a rotate back onto blue. Leon, he might be able to get a call and a read. There's the break on it. Good timing, I think, for his sake. If we say that some of the things have come together on the side of Koi there, well, that's definitely another one. It was almost an immediate breakthrough onto the side. If they had done it, they could have probably very easily got that kit down. Leon drifting back and forcing the rotate. Sometimes things line up as well, just in the other way around.
Hesitation killed. I said it before right there. They were droning it. It seemed clear, but they weren't quite sure about it, so they droned it again. They weren't quite sure about it. They droned it again for a third time, and at that point, someone finally came back to protect the site. If they just would have went for it, that could have been the diffuser down already, and that could have been players deeper in the site to make sure that no one was going to be able to come back. Either way, Leon is here now. Entry kill is for Koi. W7M, they're going to have to try and fix this as they go. The first Candelas are going to be tossed in, one probably deep right behind, and Leon in the meantime he's sneaking up close.
Oh, and he's just struck while the iron was hot. The P90 and the placement and the play. JV92 has to do some of the work here once again, but with KZ for support, Deepak locks the swing round and takes care of it. However, we've seen clutches go against them this time. They've got to do the difficulty of getting the kit planted as well. This is Koi's really to lose. They've had a cam. Not any longer. Tucked around on the side. KZ, he's sort of angling for the fight. Finds one. There's not the second. The first round on this side goes to Koi.
Well, fuck him on, Leon. Good shit, Spoit.
Nice. Good job, boys.
Lean rotate important there. Round winning, I dare to say.
He might not know how important he was.
Yes.
He came when we needed him the most.
That's it.
I mean, there as well, the swing in, just getting the connection with the second player, stopping a Candela rush on the moment it's about to come through.
Timing, twice.
Is timing twice, and that's that sort of gift there that's come through for them. That's also, you know, it's not just all, we're not just all saying Lady Luck, but we can see from that side, sometimes things line up, and you want the impact, but you might not know just how powerful you've been, Mr. Giddens.
No, and then W7M is definitely going to be, you know, when they go back over the vault later, for either as they prepare themselves for the lower bracket or as they prepare themselves for the upper bracket, depending on where they'll be, they'll see their round and like, oh, so it really was clear. We really could have gone in.
Yep.
And then they start thinking about that hesitation. And it's not often that we see a team like W7M hesitate on a push like that. Normally they jump on the opportunity to just take it if they see like it's free. But that shows how much this match means for both of these. And W7M being so many rounds up, not wanting to take any of these risks, shows they respect Koi for the team they are.
They're still only 2 rounds away. W7M, they have time, they have mobility, and we sort of said, you know, if it turns into a thing where it's the third site and the tertiary becomes a little bit wobbly and that's where they can try and pull stuff back, well, no, that's not even good enough. Koi know this. They have to make sure that even one of those potentially uncomfortable sites has to stick, has to land.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
And it starts maybe here. JV92, he's got himself up to the roof. Oh, C4 is the end! And that is a Solus saying, hello.
I have spotted you on your phone. And that's why you don't play games on your phones. You got to be paying attention right there. A quick breach comes through from W7M to open up Jacuzzi. And the rush come through. They are pushing in. They're hoping to make this happen.
Well, there's the first drove on the back, but Leon behind again gets a double with the P90. The spray over the top on the back of the Candelas. Julio, he's stuck just around the top of the stairs. He's concerned about being swung either side in the 4 versus 2. Koi have the man advantage, and they've got to try and isolate a single fight. There it is, and there it is. Julio gets revenge, gets Leon dropped once again with the bathroom fully locked. They don't quite have the ease of access into the site, but they do have at least a little bit of wiggle room safety. They're going in deep. They don't know about the man down. It's Kanto, tucked on a corner, a 3 versus 1, no diffuser in hand, a lot of time, but nothing else in his pockets now. Volps through all of the Candelas, all the smokes in behind that push. Wasn't quite rewarded on the back of it. You've got a Nazami that's gonna, you know, still have a keeper barricade in case they want to. There's an impact. There's some chance at play. And this. Hey, remember that meme where we said on Reddit there was like so-called free-thinking casters when there's loads of time?
Oh yeah.
And blatantly baiting.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they're taking an unofficial timeout.
Maybe that is. Maybe that is. Who knows? 50 seconds. Phelps is still trying to make the win happen. We keep a barricade that stops him. All he needs to do is land a 1v3. Well, they've done it before on W7M, but that was in the defense. Isolate them. That's one ponytail. That's going to be a Frost swinging around the corner. It's 2 players accounted for. Where's the third? That's going to be the big question here. Swings through. That's going to be Spoit on the ground. on his belly. And a technical timeout to be called upon by W7M.
Fair enough. 2 rounds lost in a row. It's still wiggle room, it's still space, but you talk about the importance of offsides and you talk about the importance of difficulties, and we'll have a quick listen in and hope you can understand Portuguese.
Vamos usar esse excesso de confiança deles agora para fazer bait, para tentar punir eles, qualquer coisa, se encaixar na nossa play. Vamos jogar lentinho também, ficar esperando tudo, porque, mano, meio que já deu errado o pré-game deles, tá ligado? Então agora eles só estão, tipo, no excesso de confiança.
Eles estão só abrindo
fazendo pique, tá ligado? Mano, prestar atenção, jogar adulto agora, tá ligado? Bem ratinho. Eu acho que
se for
agora
bar, nós faz o quê?
vai ser bar. O que a gente falou?
A gente falou de fazer o punch com a Osa.
Bar.
Quer fazer a frica?
Frica 7x1 ou NIP.
Vamos fazer a frica então.
Vamos fazer a frica e tal. E aí, se não der, a gente tenta finalizar.
Tá, ó, o Case e o Júlio vão abrindo o taco.
Bora.
Bora, pô.
Cuidado com o bench, tá? Eles jogam de bench nesse daqui. Bora.
Fechou, bora.
Vai. Bora, filhão. Frica 7x1.
Não, é a frica do 7x1 aqui, o 9-2 deita, tá ligado?
Conclusion.
Or they're gonna explode on bar, okay? So watch out for the one or the other.
I do not speak Portuguese.
Alrighty.
Also prepare for them to be slower now, because it's not working.
As Leon said it, the rushes are not working. Again, probably still not knowing how close they were to actually working out around 7, if they did go for it. But they weren't in position to do so. Bar and stage up next. And Koi setting themselves up above, of course, as we expect them to, opening up these hatches to stop any of the default plans to be coming in. In the meantime, we're going to have probably 3 or maybe 2 players up on that top floor, just playing around, trying to hold on for as long as they possibly can, and provide support for the rest of the team. Because if W7M take that top floor under control, and they find a kill or 2 whilst doing it without losing anybody, they're going to be able to get that plan down without too much issue. Leon is hiding. Will they drone him? Or is he just going to be rushing out? There comes the drone.
No, he's droned. And you got to be cautious of the kitchen window as well if you're trying to make that run back. It's one of the things that we sort of talked about in some of the games we've seen is blind and ambitious rotates get punished. Koi have been quite clever with them from time to time. They haven't quite suffered the same stuff that I think we saw G2 suffering a bit yesterday. But he's so tempted to go for this, open up the shop, the angle, go for the spray. There's nobody on the balcony yet. He's waiting for the call to come through. Herds is playing an unusual position. Very flexible operator. Oh, and there it is. Kanto punished. JV92 caught out by Leon though. Just on the top, the roof, and well, they get at least a semblance of a trade, and they take the Thatcher out as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you look at this side, the Thatcher gone is not going to be the biggest of impacts, right? Because you're going to be using your verticality mostly, and sure, it's going to be harder to actually open up the wall on for example, Strip. The grenade comes through, Spoit gets taken out cleanly by KZ, as Leon to fall now as well. And this is what I said, if they start taking top floor control and taking too many bodies on the way up, it's going to be hard for Koi to win this. So Deepak goes in hard, goes in aggressive, but gets shut down just as quickly. And now it's only up to Cry, and up above, he doesn't last very long. It's going to be a 3-6 map point for W7M.
To stay in this map, their map, Koi have to be pitch perfect for the rest of this. 3 rounds is the difference. It's not impossible. They've made that divide, a bigger divide themselves. And, you know, at this point, heads in. You know what you've got to do. You know what's ahead of you. We have no Ying. We have no rush.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You're the one that's going to be able to lurk up on them now.
Might still be the case. Now they will realize we're headed back down to Arsenal. That way we are going to try and find out how many of the Koi players are actually going to be up top, because W7M, last time they were just seconds away from being able to make that rush stick. And if there is a single drone right now that's pre-placed on the site that hasn't been spotted out by Leon on the Solace, they could be going for a quick push through, because they're still reinforcing, they're still working on it. That is a complete repick coming through in terms of the W7M lineup. A line is out there. There's definitely Gone 6 potential. It's a breaching charge to open up dirt as well, but the push is not going to be a rush, I believe. Just quick openings elsewhere, just opening up the doors, trying to get some information.
Little pops.
Little pops.
Little pops, little bits of pressure. But now, W7M, they obviously learned a lesson last time, and your attacking bar, you can give yourself more wiggle room in there, being more direct. They have some cover, they have some shoulder peaks to try and just make sure they can slip their way into this aggression. Kanto's curious, and JV92 is deadly. Swings up, takes care of Cryan, and suddenly the attention is being instantly paid to where Kanto just was. He slipped up, though, and he's making sure that he might be able to survive. He's not going to go on cams. He's not going to go on anything other than just watching and waiting and hoping. He hasn't been revealed. They have a little bit of motion. They have Spoit not too far away, but at what point do you try and bring the pair of them back in? Wait too late, and it'll be too late. Go too early, and you'll throw everything away that you've wasted for.
You might even get yourself caught off by some of the rotations at that point. So still roaming up above, making noise now. This will be heard as they run around. Drone gets knifed out. Are they being hunted? That's that big question. It doesn't seem like that. It seems like KZ's still out there on the staircase, though. Finds Spoit. And now it's a 3-on-5. And only up to Kanto. Are you going to be able to fall back? Because, well, you're about to have to, because the side is going to be falling soon.
Deepak, all that's left, and the rotate does not quite offer him the route through. Volps finds Kanto, and the Dutchman is in a 1 versus 5. The first fight is scrappy. They've got the call and the read in a flawless. This is W7M's opening map today. A very solid performance.
They'll be happy with that. It's going to be a good lead into the rest of this best of 3. Knowing that they're currently 1 leg into the upper bracket finals. You need to find just a single more map over the next 2. And as mentioned on the desk, if this does go to a map number 3, it will be favored for W7M. So they did what they need to so far. Let's head to a quick break before we're back with map number 2.